Aquaman number 20, written by John Ostrander, art by Manuel Garcia. So, judging by the fact that this issue is not included in my Aquaman trade, and is instead included in my Aquaman and the Others trade, this is a backdoor pilot for Aquaman and the Others. So, we open up in Arizona, a Native American reservation, and we see a whole bunch of cows have been completely mauled and destroyed. A man is looking over them. He hears something behind him. And there's this giant dude with like wolf-like figures is the best way I can describe him. And like a pelt over his head. So then we go to the operative's plane. And he's talking with a woman on like a FaceTime call. And the woman's like, give me back my son. And he's like, no, he deserves a better mom. And I'm going to give him a better life. And all of a sudden, the son walks in. And of course, it's his grandson. And the woman on the phone was either his daughter or daughter-in-law. And he's just like, oh, hey, Aaron, shouldn't you be flying the plane? And Aaron's like, it literally does that itself. I have nothing to do here. And then all of a sudden, teleporting in is Aquaman, Prisoner of War, and Yawara. And he's just like, oh, hey, Yawara, you brought your jaguars. That's great. Aaron, could you bring them to the kitchen and make sure they don't pee on anything? And she tells the jaguars, don't eat Aaron, only eat the food. And then Aquaman's like, okay, guys, here's the thing. In my book, I have to deal with Atlantean tech because of everything that happened in my book. But there is a piece of it that we track down to the Arizona deserts, and clearly I can't go after that. So I was hoping you guys could. And they're like, okay, we won't do it for Atlantis or even for a king, but we'll do it for our friend Arthur. So then we go back to the reservation and we meet up with a young girl named Sky, who's able to talk to spirits, or at least specifically the spirit of her mother. And her brother comes out being like, you know, mom died. You should ask her who killed her because we solved that murder. Also, the brother is like, I think a cop. Hard to say. And he goes inside, he talks to his grandmother. She's like, oh, you shouldn't fill her head with that spirit mumbo jumbo. And she's like, that's an important part of our culture. I'll have you know. You shouldn't be so eager to throw it all away. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm going to go talk to Uncle Carl and then I got to get to work. So he hugs Sky, and Sky's like, hey, Grandma, I'm going to go out. I won't be back till late. And she's like, okay, well, where are you going? And she's like, I don't know. I'm just going to kind of wing it. I know where I'll be when I end up there. So we see that the brother, whose name is Victorio, I believe. Yeah, Victorio. He's meeting up with Uncle Carl. And Carl's basically like, hey, man, leave the reservation. Come work for me. There's power here. Like, come work down in this construction mine business. And he's like, nah, I got to stay with my family. But good talking to you, Uncle Carl. So then we see Uncle Carl's eyes are red. So obviously he's evil. Cut to I always forget his name. Operative. That's the one. His plane gets struck by lightning and starts falling out of the sky. So they very quickly crash land. And when they open up the back of the plane to get out, Sky's just there waiting, and she's like, hey everybody, oh, I see the helmet that Vostok had, and there's the thing that girl had. And she just goes to grab it, and Yawara's like, no, that's not you. Who is this chick? Why is she just taking our relics and stuff? And she's like, okay, right, sorry, I'm a little bit scatterbrained. I spoke to the spirit of, what was her name? Kahina, the one who had this relic originally, and I know that you kind of had like a more than friends thing for her, Yawara, but like she wants me to have this, and also she says she loves you back. And Yawara's like, okay, I guess you can have it. So at that point, Operative's like, all right, well, how did you even know we were going to be here? And he's like, oh, I spoke to the lightning beings and they struck down your plane. And he's like, right, lightning beings. So we're just letting in crazy people now? Okay. And at that point, she says, look, I know you're looking for Atlantean thing. It's like a power glove, and the skinwalkers have it, and we see the monster from the beginning. And this guy is using it to break down the walls of a tomb that the gods put all the other skinwalkers in. And if he frees them, he will have an army of them to attack the ghost lands, which I guess is like the spirit realm or something. And at that point, we see him doing that. He's already in the middle of it. And so the others teleport in and they all start using their powers. Prisoner of War, or sorry, Operative gets smacked around a little bit. Then Prisoner of War has to be convinced to use the spirits of his fallen soldiers to fight because he's very hesitant to send them back into battle again. But Sky convinces him to do it. And then we see the Skinwalker loses the pelt off of his face. It is, of course, Uncle Carl. And Sky's like, "You killed my mother, didn't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did. And I'm going to kill you too." And then she uses some sort of spirit blast power. It's very poorly explained. And everyone's like, "Hey, let's collapse the cave on him and we'll just entomb him along with the rest of them." And so they do that and teleport out. And then they all have made their way back to the plane. And they're like, "Hey, Sky, we can't let you on the plane because you're not like an official member, but we'll be in touch. You're cool." And she's like, "I'm happy to be here. You know where I am." And as the plane flies off, she speaks to her spirit of her dead mom again. It's just like, "Yeah, I think they are troubled, but they're good people, Ma. Also, I love you too." And that's the issue. That's the backdoor pilot, which it was fine. It was a perfectly good backdoor pilot. It gave a short and brief but believable reason as to why Aquaman would bother talking to them at this point, which is Atlantean tech. It's here. Just go get it for me. And they did that while introducing a new character and also making it a reasonable enough reason as to why Aquaman could not go along on the mission. All that combined, I liked it. The only thing I would give some criticism to is they really gave 3 or 4 pages to backstory on like cousin or Uncle Carl and Victorio, where I don't feel like they're going to be recurring characters. I feel like Sky's going to be the only one we care about, and I much rather would have learned more about her. So yeah. Beyond that, I'll give this one I'll just give it a flat 7. It's fine. It's good. It ain't great. Same as it ever was. And art-wise, take it or leave it. It's kind of a house style with a bit more heavier runnings. So whether you like that or not, still a 7.